This video introduces Chapter 11 of OEC 6, looking at altered mental status. So what we'll do in this chapter is we'll define what altered mental status is and consider its causes. We'll look at the management specifically of a transient ischemic attack alongside some of the other medical conditions that we might encounter with a patient who is epileptic or diabetic. We'll also talk specifically about the assessment of someone with AMS in the case of having a stroke and distinguish between the two types of stroke, hemorrhagic and ischemic. So the key terms that we'll need to understand in the case of epilepsy, we'll talk about absent seizures, generalized seizures, and consider the idea of tonic and clonic activity associated with those. For diabetic patients, we'll look at glucose and insulin and their role and possibly hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia resulting from the interaction of those two chemicals. We'll also consider the symptoms that might appear with a diabetic emergency, such as polydipsia and polyuria. To begin, the body constantly monitors its internal and external environment, and it's going to control that through the central nervous system. That preservation of kind of a steady state is something that we call homeostasis. So to maintain homeostasis, we regulate the supply of oxygen perfusing our tissues and the glucose that supplies energy to the cells, and we consider the removal of waste products from the cells as well. If we get a change in the patient's level of responsiveness, it can be because that homeostasis has been disrupted. Altered mental status is a really serious problem. It indicates something is wrong within the brain, and all of these causes should be considered. We have a mnemonic device to help us understand that and distinguish between very widely varying and very subtle symptoms that may occur.